Hi friends, Scott here from Sharing the Burden. Been a great week. Finally Friday afternoon we sit around and we wonder what have we done and how's it been and how's everything going. I can tell you meeting wise, support meeting wise in the field out here in the world as well as inside of the jails where we are represented. Sharing the Burden is doing a great job, I believe, in the jail with a whole bunch of new volunteers, and we're just getting a lot of people out. We're seeing anywhere from 80, 90 to 100, 120 inmates a month, and we're impacting them in many different ways, and we're just really, really pleased, and we're so thankful for the prayer warrior support that we have from a whole group of people, about 15 or 20 of them, who pray diligently every time we go in, and every time they hear of what we're doing and where we're weak, where we're strong. They back us up with prayer power. And for those who don't believe in prayer power, you want to just try and get a bunch of people doing that for you in your ventures in life and whatever it is you do, whatever you find your purpose to be in life. Anyway, in August we talk about making a list of people we need to make amends to. So I'm going to talk a little bit about amends now. I've made a couple of notes, and I think this stuff's important. Are we being used as scapegoats? Sometimes we have a rough spot in our life, and maybe make some mistakes. Maybe for the really unfortunate, end up with an addiction of some sort. And by the very nature of the disease itself, we become somewhat ostracized, and but I think often used as scapegoats. We're banished in many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally. And as we're banished, we tend to take on a new life all by ourselves, and it's sad, really. It's sad in many, many ways. But have you been a scapegoat, and maybe people are laying all their hurt and pain on you, and they're going away with that, without the hurt and pain, and you've kind of carried it for them. And I believe you're given the strength to withstand that, to make amends and make your way back into the fold, sort of thing. Whether it's a whole family, a community, or whatever that's turned you away, you can get back into it if it's important. If it's not important, maybe you've got other things, other purposes that you have to serve in life, and they go off and not need these people. What else? Possibly, when you make an amend, how is it received? And oftentimes we're rejected. And many times we think we have to make an amend, and the people don't know what we're talking about. But as I say, many times we're rejected. And I think the important thing to remember is you make an amend to clear the wreckage of your past. It's not specifically to go and make someone else feel good. It's not to make you feel good. It's to do what's right. It's to go and apologize, to make restitution, whatever way you have to. It's paying back money or whatever. You need to do that. If it's something drastic, you need to pray and do that too. And not to worry how it's going to be taken. In other words, what anybody thinks of me at any given time is really none of my business. And I've taken that with me to a lot of places. And although we all like to be liked, people pleasing is a real disaster. If we turn into people pleasers and rescuers and all that stuff, we tend to do it all for the wrong reason. It makes us feel good as opposed to doing something because it's right. So anyway, folks, amends is a tough thing to do, and very quickly, to make a list, here's what I do. I take all the current relationships that I'm involved with, and institutions sometimes, if I'm involved with police stations or police people or the government or whatever, an institution where we're doing service. I list people and all these things, and I look at each one individually after my list together, and I say to myself, now, how do I feel about this particular person, this institution? Any emotional whatsoever is, if I'm moved in any way emotionally, I circle that one. And I go on, I look at each one just for a bit and see if the name, and usually it's the name of a person, if any sort of emotion is evoked, I circle it. And at the end of the day, I've gone through however many there are, and maybe I have half a dozen circles, maybe I've got more, depends on how I'm living. Then those are the ones that I have to sit down and rethink, and I may have to discuss with somebody I trust, a trusted person, maybe someone else who works this program, maybe a spiritual person, maybe a spiritual guide, whether that's in the Christian realms or in, other whatever your belief happens to be, whoever you trust in that belief to give you the real goods, and to listen more than give you advice. But if you want to hear an opinion and you tell people and they give it to you, and those are the people you trust, then you probably trust their opinions as well. So sometimes that's necessary, and then you come up with a final list, and with that final list you move next month into September when we go and make the amends. So focus on the list. Focus on any names, situations, people, institutions that evoke some emotion. Go back, look at it. What's the emotion all about? Ponder or discuss with yourself and possibly another human being. Pray about it, and then decide on a final list by the end of this month. So, folks, I hope you'll come out and see us. We've got meetings in several places. Go to sharingtheburden.ca to see where they are and whether they fit with you. You're welcome at any one, I can promise you. No one will judge you. No one will tell you they know more than you. No one will put you down. And you'll feel safe. You'll feel over time, if you don't feel right away, that you can share and not worry about where that's going to go or how it's going to affect you or anybody else in the future. Thanks very much for listening to me this Friday afternoon, and have a wonderful weekend. God bless you, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye for now.